The CEO of America's most loved street treat brand steps away from her high-profile position to go undercover alongside her employees. Headquartered in Philadelphia, Rita's Italian Ice and Frozen Custard is an iconic brand selling Italian ices made fresh daily with real fruit, and their frozen custard is one of the most loved in the business. With over 580 stores and 15,000 employees and an actual revenue of $150 million, she feels the only way she could actually see all the problems in the company is if she goes undercover and sees it for herself. Linda will be going undercover as Marcy Morgan, a retired teacher from Massachusetts, and her employees will be told that they're in a documentary following a woman who's looking to start over in a new career. For her first job, she travels to Toms River, New Jersey to work with a franchise owner on a newer location. She meets up with Herzon, who gives her a uniform and then teaches her how to use the cash register. She first notices that the cash register are not one of the new ones, and he tells her that the cash register was there when he was, and it was even there when he rented the shop.
The register is old. This is probably older than me. When I took over, this is the register we've been using.
Linda is disappointed that he's still working on the old cash register and that her efforts to implement the new digital registers were not being used by some of the owners. And it all gets worse when a customer tries to buy ice cream with a credit card, and when she tried to scan it, it took so long because the credit card reader was using a dial-up connection. Linda was very frustrated.
So it takes longer to process.
Dial-up.
I know, it's old school.
Yeah.
Especially because it was 2017 and somebody was still using dial-up.
When I took a credit card order, it was so slow. Quite honestly, it was driving me crazy.
And customers started to line up because they couldn't process the payment faster. He tells her the reason he is still on the old system is because it's expensive, and when he became a franchisee, he had to spend a lot of money on other stuff like branding and flooring. The next day, our CEO travels to Holland, Michigan to work with another franchise owner who recently put a drive-thru at her location.
Stephanie recently put in a drive-thru at her location. There is a definite blueprint in making our drive-thru successful.
She meets up with Stefani, who teaches her how to make different ice creams, and Linda also learns a little more about how Stefani operates the shop, which she actually finds a little distasteful as Stefani doesn't follow the company's rules on the opening time, which is the standard time for all stores to open, but Stefani had decided that she wants to do it her way and opens 2 hours later.
It has to be open from 12, but we don't open until 2, mostly because that was something that I dictated that works best for my family.
Linda goes to work in the drive-thru and finds another problem there too, like having no sign to lead the customers on where they should get their order, and she asks her why they don't ask for help from corporate to implement the right system, but Stefani responds by saying that she wants to run the store her way. Notices that the communication system for the drive-thru is old and doesn't work properly. And later, Stefani's little kids, which she brought to work because she didn't want to leave them at the daycare, start running around and screaming and disturbing customers. All of this really frustrates Linda, and she finally decides to reveal her true identity.
Okay. I'm really not Marcy Morgan. I'm Linda Chadwick, CEO of Rita's.
No, you're not.
And you're on Undercover Boss.
Oh, okay.
She tells Stefani that the drive-thru will be shut down until it's working properly, and Stefani didn't know what to say, so they decide to shut down the drive-thru. The next day, Linda travels to Orlando, Florida to work with a franchise owner, Andrew, and they meet up in the morning and get right to the job. Andrew is very good at his job and teaches her really well.
That one is actually used for banana split.
That sounds really good.
Oh, the banana split's really good. A lot of work, but totally worth it.
But she sees that even his shop is not using the new inventory system and that he is still writing on paper. He tells her that he prefers writing on paper because the new website still lacks a lot of things and that it's just more frustrating to use that. Linda recognizes rushing the new system was not a good idea, and she plans to improve on that.
Responsibility and go speak to my team so that we can have a more effective system in place so that Andrew can use the method.
Later, he introduces her to Pastiche, and she teaches her how to use the new cash register and take orders.
So first thing we are going to do is I want to show you the cash register. So you press Italian ice, and then right here you're gonna hit kids eyes.
She does that for the rest of the day, and while working with her, Linda learns that Pastiche is autistic and uses art to help other people like her. She also learns that Andrew took her in when she couldn't get a job at other places, and she has now become his best employee. And finally, Linda's undercover time has come to an end, and she's seen the good, the bad, and some of the ugly. So she invites her employees to her office to reveal her identity. First in was Hezron, and she tells him that she had a great time working with him, but she was frustrated with the cash register system, so she gives him $5,000 so he can upgrade both the cash register and the internet connection. She also gives him a $60,000 ice cream trailer truck so he can be able to sell product on events. She then goes on to award him $10,000 for his hard work and dedication to the company. Next in was Stefani, and she tells her that her rogue take on the business and not following the company standards has really hurt the company brand, but she tells her that she wants to help her reopen the drive-thru, so she gives her $25,000 so she can fix everything before reopening. She then offers to mentor her personally and help her grow in her store. And last in was Andrew, and she tells him that the day she spent with him was very special, and she also tells him that she's invested $500,000 to improve the inventory system, and she then tells him that she was inspired by him for hiring people with disabilities, and she asks him to call Pastiche on the phone, and Linda asks her to come to headquarters to talk to the team to create a diversity initiative for Ritas. She then gives her $15,000 and another $5,000 to help her publish her book.
$5,000 to help you publish your book.
And for Andrew, she gives him another $15,000 for his upcoming wedding and honeymoon. In the weeks since, Andrew has gotten his dream wedding and is planning their honeymoon, Pastiche is finishing her book before publication, Hezron has gotten his new cash register and is no longer delaying his customers, and finally, Stefani's franchise is thriving and her drive-thru is open for business.
Gigi's founder goes undercover to find the most dedicated employee ever. Our undercover boss goes as a cake decorator. In one of her 100 stores around, she chooses Charlotte, North Carolina. She meets Jason, the cupcake decorator, but to her surprise, she sees that her signature swirl isn't there. Jason doesn't know about the Gigi swirl. The caramel isn't put right, and the sprinkles aren't getting sprinkled. But when our undercover tried decorating the cupcakes, she couldn't do it.
Today, I'm going undercover as a cupcake decorator in Charlotte, North Carolina. Gigi's employees are expected to do many jobs, whether you're delivering cupcakes, working the front counter, or you're in the back swirling. The perfect decorator would be someone who can multitask, has a great attitude, and gets the job done. Yes, hi.
I'm Jason.
Jason, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. These are our wooden practice cupcakes. First cupcake we're going to be doing today, the chocolate turtle. The way the turtle cupcake is actually decorated, it's $2.
He stacked, I swirl. Is that the Gigi swirl? Jason does not have my swirl right. There are things in that store we've got to fix. $2. Oh, my stuff's coming up from the top.
Squeeze from the middle of your bag. Now press down. Her cupcakes were a little rough. Right now, I would not hire Candace as an employee of mine.
But Jason is a savior. He takes her to a huge cupcake delivery ride. They hit a lot of bumps along the way, and Gigi notices Jason cares about the business and the customers, but he might still need to receive proper training.
Be careful slamming on your brakes like that.
All right.
Just because of the cupcakes. Just watch. Oh, it's okay.
Oh, my goodness. Hitting all the potholes.
Every 30 seconds, you hit a pothole. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit another pothole. Damn, I hit a pothole. You know,
Oh, darn it. How many potholes are in this city?
I got $500 worth of cupcakes in the back of this car, and I was going to have an accident in my pants. And kind of treat it as another human being in the back of your car. Make it look nice, as if this was your wedding.
Jason's passion and his responsibility. He cares.
Put that one right here.
He hasn't been trained properly himself. How is he supposed to be able to train me? Pride he takes, I can't train that.
As they open up, Jason explains to her that Gigi's cupcakes allowed him to better his life.
Had some run-ins with the law. Made some bad choices in my life. Gigi's basically gave me another opportunity. I take that with great responsibility. I love my job. Yeah. I'm 30 years old. I think it's time to grow up and responsible and act my age.
I just thought it was so cool that he had taken his mistakes and learned from them.
During the big reveal, Candace, in reality Gigi, tells Jason that he didn't swirl it right. But that's not his problem because he didn't get proper training. So she gives out to him an opportunity to come to Nashville and work with her and get the training to make things right. And that's not it. To relieve his financial burdens and to set him on the right path, she offers him $30,000 for his financial troubles.
The swirl of the cupcakes, you plopped it, you didn't swirl it. If you were trained properly, could absolutely execute. I want to pay for you to come to Nashville and learn all the right Gigi's way. You could come to the original Nashville store.
That is amazing. Thank you.
Well, to help further your dream and help with your financial burden, I want to offer you $30,000.
Thank you.
I see such great potential in you.
And if you think that's it, it's not. He keeps his nose clean and performs better than before. She will invest in his franchise of Gigi's Cupcakes.
And I think if you can continue to stay on the right path, keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble, I want to pay for your franchise fee and all of your equipment to start your own Gigi's.
No way. Oh my God.
That's worth almost $100,000.
You're serious?
I'm serious.
Wow.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
First, start with the president and CEO of Yankee Candle, Harlan Kent.
I'm Harlan Kent, President and CEO of Yankee Candle.
Headquartered in Massachusetts, Yankee Candle sells over 200 million candles a year and has an annual revenue of $700 million and employs about 6,000 people. Yankee Candle also happens to be the largest candy manufacturer in the world. He'll be going undercover as Dan Johnson, a chief from Ohio, competing in a reality show for people entering new work. For his first job, Harlan traveled to South Deerfield, Massachusetts to work in their flagship store.
Today I am in South Deerfield, Massachusetts at our flagship store.
Customer service happens to be very important for Harlan, and he wants to see how well these stores follow the company's standards. He meets up with Blaze, and he takes him to the Dip Your Own Wax station, which is where customers can dip white wax and color it with any color of their liking. The first customer arrives at the station shortly after, and does a pretty nice design. Harlan was happy with how things were going, up until the point Blaze reveals that things don't usually go that smoothly with the customers. He explains that especially children don't really listen to instruction and they make a giant mess which he has to clean up.
A lot of the times, they'll come up, the little kid, they'll just kind of want to make a mess, do whatever. Yep. That's a pain.
He then demonstrates what kids usually do and accidentally reveals that he is taught about slapping the kids when they make a mess. Harlan is taken aback by what he had just heard, but they both try to laugh it off. But then Blaze keeps talking and reveals that he has a short temper and says that if he didn't fear getting fired, he might actually get into a fight with a customer. Harlan's shocked by this revelation, but he keeps his cool and continues to do his job. He's then taken to the station where they make candle wax, and he shows them how to properly make a hand-shaped candle. The process was a little complicated, but Harlan takes the station and manages to do pretty well. He actually does so well that it makes Blaze suspicious, as no new employee should be that good off the cuff. And he starts getting suspicious about Harlan's true identity. Blaze then starts going around and asking the other employees if Harlan seemed familiar, and he asks them if they think he's the boss. Harlan notices all the commotion going on and figures out that his cover might be blown, so he asks to talk to Blaze in private to reveal his true identity.
He might not be a chef who's come here from Cincinnati. Is
Maybe
that pretty
a little
much? Is that kind of where it was going? Yeah. So my name is Harlan Kent.
Blaze was stunned as he realizes that he revealed that he wanted to slap kids to his CEO, but Harlan still didn't decide what he wanted to do with Blaze, so he tells him that he still wants to talk to him at the end of the week, and he ends his shift early. For his next job, Harlan travels to Whately, Massachusetts to work in the Yankee Candle plant.
Today I'm at our plant in Whately, Massachusetts, and I'm going to be working on the line.
The factories are the backbone of the business, and any efficiency issue that might happen here will affect every store, so Harlan wants to make sure that things are going smoothly. He meets up with Jose, and he shows him his first task, which is packing the finalized candles. Jose is very meticulous with his work, and wants everything to be done perfectly, and he tells Harlan to only pick out the perfectly made candles, and to return the other ones to be remade. Harlan is also a perfectionist, and he's very happy to see that Jose is also like him.
Jose was all over quality right from the get-go. Everything was about quality.
That's the last thing we need is customers to get hurt.
Harlan then takes the station and tries to do the job alone, but he was too slow and he couldn't keep up with the upcoming candles. Jose then joins him, and while working together, he tells him that he packs up to 8,000 candles a day, which is more than anyone there. He also tells him that even though he's a hard worker and very good at his job, it's very hard to grow within the company because people in the higher up position don't really acknowledge people that work in the factory. He explains that it would be easy if he came from the outside and got a better job instead of trying to grow within the company, which is really frustrating for workers as they don't really feel valued or appreciated.
These guys, it's all about like hard work.
For his next job, Harlan travels to Georgia to work under the store manager.
Today I'm in Peachtree City, Georgia. I'll be working with one of our store managers.
He meets up with Megan and they start the day by cleaning up the store before opening to customers. Harlan hasn't done this kind of job before for a long time, so he struggles a bit, especially once he gets to the bathroom. He does manage to clean the toilets and does a good job overall. Once the store opens, Harlan shadows Megan and sees how she interacts with customers. Megan is really good at her job and very attentive to customers, which Harlan appreciates. After finishing work at the store, they go outside to garner new customers by giving free coupons and promoting the stores. For his last job, Harlan travels to Center Valley, Pennsylvania to work as an assistant manager.
Today I'm going to be working as a second assistant sales manager in Center Valley, Pennsylvania.
He meets up with Dan and they get right into the job, and corporate has just sent new display designs, so Dan shows him the manual and gives Harlan 30 minutes to build. Harlan is not a great builder and struggles to follow the instructions, but he realizes the main issue he was facing is that there were limited materials to build the new display. Dan explains that design products are not always sent on time, which means that the designs will not be built properly and they won't look as good. They next move on to sales and Dan shows him how to interact with customers and make a sale. And Dan was quite unorthodox with his sales method, but it works for him as both customers and Harlan like his personality.
You're doing it. It's a little quirky, but he's got a heart of gold.
On their break, Dan reveals that his father passed away recently, so he now financially takes care of his family at a young age. After going through all of these experiences, Harlan's time finally comes to an end, and he invites his employees to reveal his true identity. First in was Blaze, and Harlan had a very disappointing time with him, and he tells him that his attitude was not acceptable. Blaze then reveals that he doesn't have a good home life, which is why he gets easily frustrated at work. He apologizes for his behavior, and since Harlan sees a potential in him, he offers to mentor him and find him the right path for his future.
What jobs I can do that'll make me, excited to go to work, rather than waking up and saying, oh no, I have to go to Yankee Candle today.
Next in was Jose, and Harlan commends him for being quality-focused and offers him a promotion to become a team leader. He then gives him $5,000 to spend on himself and another $10,000 to go fund his small business.
Thank you. Thanks for everything. Thank you. Life for me is definitely going to be different after today, hopefully I can help people the same way.
Next in was Megan, and he tells her that she was a great manager and reveals to her that her store will be fully renovated by the company. He then gives her $20,000 for her expenses and also offers her a fully paid family vacation.
I hear about treatments all the time, but I know that I can't afford them. It's wonderful. I don't know what else to say.
Last in was Dan, and he tells him that he was impressed with him and gives him $50,000 to help out with his family expenses, and then gives him an additional $10,000 to pay for college.
There's nothing more I want than my dad to see me right now. I know that he was proud of me at least.